Hello, my friends. Let's make a fish. Okay, first thing, your board that you have needs to be turned wide. Okay, remember that's called landscape style. Not tall, but wide. I need for you to take your Sharpie and on the front, down at the bottom, okay, probably in the corner, go ahead and write your name. Your board is wide. You're writing your name on the front, down in the bottom corner. As soon as you're done with your Sharpie, put the lid on it and put it back in the middle of the table. We don't need it anymore, okay? Just for your name, when you're done, put the lid on it, put it in the middle of the table. All right, you are going to be making a fish, and I hope you've already decided what body shape you want your fish to have. You have a little wooden, it's really an ice cream spoon, but we're going to use it as a tool today, and your Model Magic. And one end of the Model Magic packet has been cut so that we can open it and take it out. When you open it, don't squish it yet, okay? So you're going to turn it to the back, and there's a flap right here where the packet is sealed together. If you will pull right up here at the top where it's cut, if you'll pull that apart, you can open that packet up. And I want you to take the Model Magic out and don't squish it up. Leave it in the shape that it is right now, and we will throw away the packet. Okay, go ahead and look up at the board for just a moment and let me show you real quick what your first step is. So your first step is to take this tool and cut this piece in half, and I just pressed my tool down in it. You can also use the end of the tool to cut it almost like a knife, okay? So you would cut that into 2 pieces. Okay, set one piece aside. The one piece that we're moving out of our way is going to be used to make all of the details on the fish. So we'll use it to make an eye and to make all the fins. And if there's any left, you can use it to make seaweed or bubbles or another little bitty fish. So just take half of it and put it off to the side. And you're going to take your first half and we're going to make the body shape out of that. So take your first piece, give it a little squish in your hand. Okay. And then put it on the table. And remember how we roll by making our hand go in a circular motion? So you are going to take that Model Magic and I want you to roll it into a ball and use your table, and remember your hand is going in a circular motion. Okay? And it's okay if you do it between both hands. Some people like to do that, but I like to do it on the table. But it's up to you. Okay, so you roll it up. Okay. If you will, put yours down for a moment and look up at the video and let me show you really, really quickly about attaching it, okay? So you should have it kind of rolled up, okay? Put it down, put your hands in your lap and look up at the video. All right, so once you have it rolled up, I need for you to remember what shape you want to do. You want to do an oval, or do you want to do a circle, or do you want to do an oval that's pointy on one end? Whatever you want to do. So you started with your ball of Model Magic and you're going to flatten it, not right this second, you're still watching me. So let's say I wanted to do an oval that was pointy on one end. So an oval needs to be stretched just a little bit because an oval looks kind of like a circle that has been stretched out. And then to make a pointy end, all I'm going to do is take my fingers and I'm going to mash one end, but do you see it kind of curled up? So I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to flatten it down a little bit, and I'm going to pinch a little bit more. So with your fingers, you are forming the shape of your fish. And when you get it formed, I want you to put it on your board closer to one side. That way we have enough room to do the tail fin attached. Okay, so don't put your shape right in the middle. Scoot it either a little bit more to the right or left, depending on which way your fish is facing. Your fish could be pointing towards the right, or it could be pointing towards the left. Whichever way you want it to face, you can have it face that way. But just go ahead and kind of press it once you have the shape done. Press it to your board, but it needs to be more towards one side. So I'm just going to take my hand and I'm going to pat that on the board so it's like really stuck to the board. So make sure that when you put it on your board, you give it some firm presses with your fingers so that it's really stuck to your board. And if you need to take your fingers then and fix any little mess ups or any little places that looks kind of weird, then you go ahead and do that. Okay, so your fish is going to have lots of fins. So you can have a tail fin, you can have a dorsal fin, which will be up on the fish's back. You can have pectoral fins, which are down here close to the belly. You can have gills if you want gills. You're going to have eyes. All those decorations we're going to put on the fish. We'll talk about a mouth. You can even use your tool to press a scale pattern if you want to, and I'll show you how to do all of that in a minute. So after you get your body attached to your board, if you will watch me, and I'm going to show you about the fins. So you're just taking pieces off of that extra chunk that you had, and you're going to make fins. The easiest way to make a tail fin is to take a chunk and we're going to roll it in a coil. Remember, coil means your hand is going back and forth. And then once you have it in a coil, if you'll look up here, let me show you real quick. If you attach it and kind of bend it like a U shape and press it onto your fish, and then you can pinch it if you want to, and you can make it a different shape. Just make sure it's really well attached to your fish and to the board. So I just made a coil and I turned it into a U shape by bending it, and then I attached it to my fish. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. And then you can take other pieces and you can roll them up into a ball, and you can flatten them and shape them in whatever shape you want by pinching and pulling and twisting and bending, and you can make all of the different fins that you want to make. And every time you make one, you attach it where it needs to go and press it really firmly onto your board so that it's not going to pop off. Okay, so I have a dorsal fin. I'm going to make a pectoral fin, and you don't have, yours does not necessarily need to look like mine. You pinch and pull and bend and form into whatever shapes you want for your fins. Just make sure they're attached to your fish's body and they're firmly pressed to the board. Okay, I need to show you really quickly a few more things, and then I'm going to stop the video and let you finish, okay? But let me just show you real quick. You can either make fish lips, and they kind of almost look like a heart shape. a heart shape, and you would just attach them. So if I made like a heart shape and I put them on here like this, okay, I could have fish lips. But you can also, if you don't want that, if you want a mouth that's like open, you can take your tool and you can cut a piece out, and that way your fish can have an open mouth if that's what you want. Okay, so it's up to you what kind of mouth you want to have. For the eyes, and you should be watching me right now, okay? So don't work right now. Just let me finish real quick. Just show you a few things, and then that way you can get done. So for the eyes, I want you to roll a ball, and I want you to put it on, and then I want you to take a smaller one and attach so that it's got layers. And then here's how you do scales real quick. You can take your tool, and by just pressing the end of the tool down into the fish, it looks like scales because the tool has a rounded edge, so it looks like little scales. So you can do that if you want to. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. Now I have all this extra clay left, so now I could make like seaweed pieces. I can make tiny fish. You make tiny fish just like you made the big fish. Just make a body shape, make a tiny tail fin, and that should be enough. Kind of like a goldfish cracker. You know how a goldfish cracker has just a body and a tail fin? You could do tiny fish the same way by making just a body shape and sticking it on, and then remember rolling a tail fin like a coil and attaching that. And then if you wanted to attach a tiny eye, you could do that. So you can make all kinds of things. You can make little bubbles just by rolling circles and sticking them on. You can make like the ocean floor. You can make seaweeds, whatever you want to make with your extra. Make some extra stuff and stick it on. And seaweed is just coils, and you can just bend it and twist it and stick it like behind your fish, and you can do multiples of those, like little short pieces and stuff. So your fish needs fins, it needs an eye, it needs some kind of mouth, either open or fish lips. And then if you have extra pieces of Model Magic, I need for you to create some things to go in the background. Some seaweed or some ocean floor, some little bitty fish, starfish, however you want to do it, but you're going to make it, not me. Okay, so don't ask me to make things for you. I need you to figure this out. Use your tool if you need it. And one last thing, nothing should stick off of your board. So I don't want seaweed that comes and it sticks off the edge out here into the open space, because if things stick off, things will break off. Okay, so all of your stuff needs to be firmly attached to the board. Okay, and just keep using your extra pieces and making some background and really firmly pressing to make sure that this stuff will not pop off when it starts to dry. Okay, so you can get a good close-up look before I turn off the video. Get a good look at mine so you can kind of see. So you're adding background when you get done with your fish. Okay, remember, nothing sticking off the edges. Everything is really well attached to your board. I can't wait to see these.